We live in a society where success is gauged as being wealthy, respected, or famous. But how do you define success? On this episode, we sit down to talk to an eccentric and suave radio presenter. He's one with a strong will and an indomitable drive for life.
Hi, my name is Jeet, and this is my success story. So, about 12 years ago, I was in radio, and things were going really well. I was really coming up in the world, had a lot of events, had a lot of fans following and everything. And unfortunately, around the same time, I had some financial issues going on, and the stress sort of took over my mind. So I was really weak inside. So, being in media, you have to show a very strong front, but deep inside, you're going through so much, right? We had an event on a Saturday night, and I was bombarded with thoughts. That's it. All that was there in my head was what I'm going through at that particular time. I was supposed to stay the whole night until about 7 a.m. when the event was supposed to end, but I left at about 3 a.m. I just couldn't stand all the sound and the noise because I wanted some clarity, some peace. And I got on the road. I was driving home, but somehow I decided to take a longer drive because I wanted to go home with a clear state of mind. And next thing you know, all I could hear was some loud crashes and bangs and people screaming, and I woke up on the side of the road. And that's when I realized that I was in an accident. And I still remember there was a person who was, trying to talk to me and tell me calm down. So I had no idea. I was in shock, and I tried to stand up, and he quickly pushed me down. And he was like, no, don't stand up. Your whole leg is broken. And they were contemplating, what should we do? Should we take this guy to the hospital, or should we wait for the cops? And I heard some car screeching on the side and a lady screaming at the top of her voice saying, he's gonna die, put him in my car. Then there was just flashing lights. That's it. Me on a bed going through the hallway, and it was just flashing lights. That's it. And I woke up a couple of hours later, excruciating pain. And that's when it really hit me that you were in an accident and it was bad. So I had a lot of friends coming in throughout the day, and I was groggy, with all the painkillers and everything. And things took a different turn when one of my colleagues came over, and I tried to console her. So she was on this side of the right side of my hospital bed in the ICU, and her father was on the other side. So he was holding my hand and calming me down, and she was in tears and everything. And I tried holding her hand, and in my mind I was actually holding her hand. Turns out I wasn't. So when I looked down is when I realized that my mind is telling me I'm holding on to her and my body isn't. So that's when the doctors came in, because I started panicking, and they were like, we have bad news. You may have lost your right arm. And I'm like, what do you mean? It's right there. I can see it. Have you guys tied it down or something? And they were like, there's this injury called a brachial plexus injury. It happens around the spine. It's when your nerves get stretched or cut, and we believe you have that. So they were like, we'll find a way, we'll sort it out. And I was like, okay, fine, cool. I still didn't let that absorb in, and I was just getting into music production, and I used to love playing a guitar. I wasn't good at it, but I was getting there. And then the pinnacle, the turning point was when a nurse came by, and I just told her, just grab my hand, my right hand, and put it on my chest so I can hold on to it. And she did. So my left arm tried to touch, my arm, and somehow I felt sorry. So I quickly retracted my arm and I apologized to her, saying, sorry, I thought that was my hand. I didn't mean to grab yours. And she was there like, she had tears rolling down her cheeks. It's a nurse experience. She's seen this kind of thing. She burst out into tears and she was like, that was your arm. And that's when it really hit me. That's when I was like, wow, this is what paralysis feels like. You can't even realize that you're holding a part of your body because it's so paralyzed, it feels like it's something else. So for about 2 days, I went into chronic depression, and I told myself, I'm going to get out of this. And unfortunately, around the same time, my whole right side, the right leg, was completely damaged. It was a long journey. I think I spent about 1.5 years and 3 to 4 surgeries. Yeah, 3 to 4 surgeries, about 1.5 years on a bed in a wheelchair. I couldn't even go to the bathroom without help. I had to limp my way everywhere. But something inside me told me, you know what? You have 2 choices. One is to sit down and say, this is who I am, this is how my life is going to be, and I'm just going to be a loser. I'm going to be a person without an arm. I'm just going to be disabled. And the other side was like, you know what, fight it. If this is the canvas that you've been given to perform your arts on, work with it. So from there, I started spending more time in bed. During that bed rest period, I started learning things. I started getting into financial accounting. I started getting into music production, started learning about, more about media. So I took everything as a challenge. So my family still does not like the fact that if I can't open something with one arm and anyone tries to reach out to help me, I cringe. I believe that if you do not have something, if there's a void somewhere, if there's something that you lack, taking help is good, but try to sort it out yourself. I'm actually supposed to be on 14 painkillers a day, and I don't remember when I had my last one. So you got to fight it. That's the beauty of life. You got to fight everything that comes in your way. It's not about it's not about going through a phase and wishing for that phase to end. Even if that phase is going to be with you permanently in your life, then you got to deal with it. So things have gone back to where they were. So back in media, and it feels good. So right now I'm the lead presenter for the Drive-Thru show on Radio 44. It's been a challenge because most of my work involves controls, faders, keyboards, keys, and everything, and you got to use both your arms. And they were so kind enough to ask me if I needed any help, if they could hire someone to do the work for me. But that's life, right? You want to try everything yourself, and whatever weakness you have in life, you turn it around and you make it your strength. And that's where I am right now. Any hurdle that comes in my way right now is so small that it doesn't look like a hurdle anymore. It just looks like a small speed bump that I would comfortably get over. One thing that I've understood is life is never going to be easy. It doesn't matter how rich or poor or comfortable you are. There are going to be so many incidents that you cannot predict or you cannot project. And it's just going to create turmoil, all right? And whatever void you find in your life, don't try to be somebody else. Try to fill up that void by expanding yourself, become a stronger you, your biggest competition is always going to be the you a day before today. So always find a way to find strength within yourself. Giving up is okay as long as you're going to jump right back up. That's it. You can cry, you can sit down, you can tuck yourself into a corner, as long as you're going to come out stronger. If you're going to go into your cave, come out stronger. That is what life is. This is my success story.